Hello, welcome to Insight. This is our regular program for the American Chamber of Commerce in Mongolia, where we talk to leaders and social champions of our community. Today we have the unique pleasure of welcoming Mr. Marc Meleard, Executive Director of Badrakh Energy. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for welcoming us and my company.
So, Insight, we talk about very timely topics and questions that our viewers and our stakeholders may have. And today we'll be talking about the Zuuvch-Ovoo project, the flagship project of Badrakh Energy. So before we get into the actual juicy part of the conversations, let's start off by getting to know who Mr. Meleard is. When did you come to Mongolia? How do you like it so far? What's your company doing? And all of that.
So thank you very much. And so my name is Marc Meleard. So I'm engineer by education and specialized in metallurgy, working in the Orano group for 14 years now. And I've been working in most of the subsidiaries of Orano mining, mostly in Africa, in Niger, and also in Kazakhstan, when I've been only in operation, so as a plant director or mine site director. When Orano proposed me to come to Mongolia, I was really excited because it was, in fact, the first time in my life I'm being involved in the greenfield project. So starting with nearly nothing, and then to build a full mining site, it's it's an experience that you're not going to have so many times in your professional life. So it was, for me, a perfect experience to be involved.
So, as you said, it's a greenfield project, or some of our people might understand it as sort of can we call this a startup?
Yes, in fact, we start from scratch. It's not to improve or to improve the production capacity of one existing mining site, but then you have nearly nothing. And you have to build from scratch a mine. So
of course. What do you hope to achieve with the Zuuvch-Ovoo project during your tenure at Badrakh Energy Mongolia?
So my plan is to see the start of the operations. So it means that we have a couple of very important steps to achieve, to complete. So the first, it's the feasibility, the update of our feasibility study to be approved. It's going to be approved in the coming weeks. So we're going to submit and to present, to defend our feasibility study in probably, let's say, in 2 weeks. Yeah. Then we have also to negotiate the investment agreement, which is very important either for the state and our company. And it's going to be the first investment agreement is OT, so the important stake. And for sure, and the third important step is the completion of the detailed environmental impact assessment, which is already launched. But we know that it's a mandatory step for validating your project, but it's also a very sensible topic regarding our activity, as our project is the first uranium project in Mongolia, and our technology, the in situ recovery technology, is going to be used for the very first time in Mongolia.
When you mentioned uranium and Mongolia being the first country to receive a project like this, what are some of the challenges that you're facing in terms of regulation, in terms of production, and possibly maybe we can talk about the uranium mythology that people seem to get a sort of a very perceptive look on this particular resource.
In fact, the main stakes to have our project validated is the acceptance from the public side of our project. And for that, we have to, as we are the first, again, regarding what we are going to extract and the technology, we have to explain and to explain and to explain. And the knowledge within the public is linked with the way we are going to explain very easily the way we are thinking to operate our site and what are going to be the impact. We have already all the knowledge about that because we are already operating such a mine in different countries, for instance in Kazakhstan. But here the knowledge of what's uranium, what's an uranium mine, and uranium mine is not a nuclear plant, and so we have to ready to have a big communication plan on this, especially on this topic, either with the main stakeholders, I mean the politician and our shareholders and so, but also with all the local communities settled nearby our site.
We'll get to the power plant discussion later on in the interview. First, we want to establish a very easy, simple understanding of what uranium is, how it's extracted, what are people's primary concerns. And I think I ask this on behalf of every stakeholder and through the eyes of the public. So being the naive person I am, I'll just go ahead and ask, is uranium safe to extract in Mongolia?
Uranium is first is a natural resource. First, it's very common in the ground, and it's about let's say 1,000 times more common than gold, for instance. And the biggest reserve of uranium is in the sea and the oceans. It's and a far bigger reserve in the sea than in the ground. So that's a very common element worldwide. We are extracting what we call natural uranium, and in fact, what everybody is scared about radiation because, in fact, you can see radiations, and probably a lot of people don't really know what's radiation. But radiation is also something natural. When you take a plane, you're going to have a radiation, and for instance, our people working in our site for 1 year are going to receive the equivalent radiation of 3 trip from Ulaanbaatar to Paris, taking the plane. So that's when you have some kind of comparison, that's not really scary, and when you can give some easy equivalent to understand, it's so it's not so much when you take 3 times the plane in 1 year, you're going to receive the same amount of radioactivity if you work in our site. So is it too much? I'm not sure that.
I don't think so. I think that sums up very nicely. So let's talk about the project. What makes Zuuvch-Ovoo unique in terms of other potential deposits in Mongolia, and how are you planning to expand on it? What's the production going to be like? What are some of the visions you have for the project?
So in fact, the project, there is 2 sides of the project. There is first the mining project I'm going to speak about, and the other side of the project is the project between 2 countries. That's another important field of the project, but we can talk about that later. First, our deposit is one of the biggest deposit which is not mined right now in the world. So the deposit is really massive and really very easy to extract. And if we compare with the one we have, for instance, in Kazakhstan, it's not so easy the deposit than the one in Mongolia. So the key figures we are planning to. So let's assume we are going to have our investment agreement validated. Let's say at last, beginning of next year. So then we will be able to start construction in 2025, and then to start production in 2028. So about 3 years to build all the infrastructures, and also to train and to recruit and to train all the people who are going to work on the mine. Then the standard production level of the site is going to be 2,500 tons per year, and the deposit, with the present knowledge that we have right now, is going to last, let's say, about 34 years. Plus, if we count the remediation time, and so let's say that's it's about 50 years project with Mongolia. And I'm pretty sure that as soon we're going to start the production, we're going to discover some extension and some additional quantity of uranium underground that we don't know right now within our license. I mean. And so the contribution for the state, it's roughly during the lifetime of the deposit, it's about $1 billion. And the contribution to the local communities are expected from our social project, contribution. It's $1 million per year. I'm not speaking of the impact of the update of the minerals law regarding royalties. Some part of the royalties are supposed also to go to the local communities, but that's not under our answer. So,
yes, I understand. With everything you've mentioned, it sounds to be like Zuuvch-Ovoo could be the next Oyu-Tolgoi of Mongolia. Do you think there's a chance for the project to really scale up to the level and the importance and quite possibly the impact of what Oyu-Tolgoi deposit and the company and its legacy is building in Mongolia?
We are very often compared to Oyu-Tolgoi because we are going to be the next investment agreement validated after Oyu-Tolgoi. But our project is a strategic project for Mongolia on different topics. First, it's a project between two countries, and I think we need also to have a kind of wider view on, especially on this issue, because it's let's say a start of cooperation between two countries. It's also the biggest investment from the European Union, and as when we have agreement between the two countries, you can for sure wider the kind of agreement that you could have on different fields. It could be agriculture, it could be about livestock development, improvement, and well, we have already some relationship on this between our two countries, but and it's also a development of a new technology, and the in situ recovery technology is really, regarding mining, it's one of the latest technology which has been developed. It has been found and reliable since the 15th of last century. So at the scale of the mining technology, it's a really recent technology. And it's also a development of new skills for Mongolian, because we intend to hire mostly Mongolian in our company. So the uranium mining is new also in Mongolia, and we could have when we see what has been developed in Kazakhstan, which is producing right now, let's say about 40% of the uranium worldwide. I think that Mongolia could be a very good player on this market.
So talking about uranium, and the world is seeing through experiencing global warming, climate change, and all the negative impact of traditional power generation through coals and other means of generating power. Could Mongolia have the chance to counteract with the carbon emission by building a let's say nuclear facility that can generate power, in a sense that with given the right expertise and the knowledge, can Mongolia foster a new energy transition? And do you think uranium plays a part in this transition?
Worldwide, the nuclear power is the only constant power which has nearly no carbide emission. And regarding climate change, it's very important to invest on renewable energy. But the issue regarding renewable, it's when you want to have a constant power to supply a plant, for instance, and it's renewable are not really suitable for that. And so you need to have a power that you can activate whenever you want and whenever you need. So when you have no wind or you have no sun, then you need some additional power, which could come from a nuclear plant. Regarding Mongolia, it's in fact a decision from the Mongolian side. In fact, how we want to manage the transition regarding the climate change. This is not the only solution, but it's a possible solution. Right now, I'm not very sure that the public, regarding uranium extraction and the acceptance regarding just our mine, I'm not very sure that Mongolia is ready right now regarding this kind of power plant. But I see that especially the younger generation are considering nuclear plant and nuclear power differently than probably let's say the older one.
As a professional who's been working in this field for quite some time, can you explain to us that how safe is a nuclear power plant? Is it easy to operate, or is it really on the edge of fine expertise that only few can operate, or is this a common myth that people tend to fall into?
So right now in the world there is only 30 countries which has such nuclear plants. So it's not really worldwide, but it's not only very few countries who own this kind of power plant. So new skills to get. It's a new technology to learn, and in fact it takes time also. But there is different players in the world which are able to propose such kind of power plant, and for sure they will propose also the training, the proper skills, and probably in the university also to adapt some specific trainings. That's for sure France has also this kind of knowledge and can propose this kind of power plant, but that's not right now our main. That's not the business of my group. For sure we can help, and for sure also if we have this kind of agreement between two countries, it will for sure ease a certain project.
Let's talk about community outreach and your CSR activities. I understand that Badrakh Energy commits quite considerable amount of resource to educating the public, raising awareness, helping the local community, herders, and every other people that are near the project site. What are some of the key activities that you're carrying out?
So we have now quite good experience in Mongolia. We have been in Mongolia since 26 years, so we are nearly now working with the children of the first herders that we met at that time. Our relationship with the local communities has really improved during the, let's say, the 18 last months, and we had so we have some 7 pillars that we are working on as education, health, and access to water, access to energy, and etc. During the time we have been in Mongolia, about 72 students as their tuition funded by our CSR project. We have installed also some new electrical line to supply the energy where there was no energy.
And in your report, it says you're also very big on growing trees and planting of bushes and shrubs. And
Yes, we have invested a lot on that because we believe that in fact we are settled in the desertic area, and so and we know that the desertification is not backing up and is mostly progressing. So we have been committed since many years on that, and near our site in pilot site, I mean, we are starting from the seeds up to the trees, and so it means that we have a dedicated greenhouse. We have also hired an experts, because in fact to grow trees in desert is not like in the steppe, or it's a very specific knowledge that you should have in order to be efficient, and because it's not only to plant trees, it's to ensure that 2 years or 3 years later your trees is still living, and so you are ready to have a dedicated action plan to take care of your trees, and so we are planting 5,000 trees a year. Right now we have been planting since the beginning 17,000 trees that we have planted, and we are committed also in the project 1 billion trees from the president, and we are committed to plant 5 million trees when we will start our operation.
That's a lot of trees.
That's really a lot of trees, and I think it's when you just divide 5 million trees by 35 years of operation, it's a lot of trees to be planted every day. So the mining business is a special business. In fact, your raw material is limited. So you know that there is a start of a mine, but there is also an end to a mine. And our main topics is when we're going to have exhausted our deposits is to have really a very good footprint in the communities nearby, and to assess that within the 50 years to assess the development of the Zuuvch, where we have a cooperation agreement, and also the province and the IMAG, and we would like to have sustainable project with them. It could be, for instance, cropping, or to have developed the skills, and to have developed some companies or some other business than mining, and so that's our main objective, to have sustainable development with the communities.
Getting back to the investment agreement, when you mentioned the new minerals law draft that is being currently discussed at the Parliament building, and then the new investment law is being under public debate and discussion, what are some of your hopes for the new drafted amendment would be? What do you think are some of the most crucial points that need to be included in these newly drafted bills?
We are also dependent not only on the minerals law, but also on the nuclear law. So in fact, we would like that for sure we are first a miner, which is extracting some radiological stuff, and we should really depend on the minerals law, and for sure we have some topics which is going to depend on nuclear law, but right now we had some mixed between the two laws, and especially the first one was regarding the duration of the agreement. So that's really the first thing. If the duration is smaller than the agreement is smaller than the deposit lifetimes, for us it's already an issue to have an agreement or to agree on that. So the minerals law has in fact deal with this, especially with this topic, which is really important for us, and also to have a kind of a balance between the shares of the company and the royalties, to be able to have the right balance that the two shareholders are going to agree. That's great. Also, it wasn't the case before. So that's really two important points that is going to really to ease the investment agreement that we're going to negotiate. It was before revision and the update of the minerals law, it was really an issue for us. And we were quite happy to see that probably we weren't the only one to raise this topic, but we were quite happy to have some update on this topic.
Thank you for that. You were mentioning about the project is not only just a company that's developing a project. You said this is a France-Mongolian joint project. What are some of the key high-level messages that the project is sending out to both sides, policymakers and to the public? Is this could this be a start of a new French and Mongolian partnership?
I really do think so about the partnership between these two countries, and it should give also confidence. And again, we have been in Mongolia since 26 years. I'm not very sure that a private company will have lasted so many years in one country without any income or benefit. And so that's mostly because we were a state-owned company, and we consider it was a strategic project also for France. And and it should give also confidence regarding the way we are going to operate, because we have also to be we are also accountable for our country. So I mean, I'm French. I'm also accountable for France, and so we are not going to do weird things or regarding the way we're going to manage our project, the way we're going to manage the environment, and so it should give, I think, more confidence than being just a private company.
If I may ask with a follow-up question, so when the mine reaches full ramp-up production, there will be extracted products. Where will this product be heading to the market? Will this be to the world market, or will Mongolia try to add value to it and maybe export it, or to some extent? What are some of Mongolia's sales canal, if I say?
So first, what we are going to produce is the standard of the market. So we are not going to. It's not going to be half product or half finished product. It's really it's going to be consistent and compliant to the uranium market worldwide. So regarding which customer is going to buy the production, first, right now the Mongolian state have some shares, and so the shares are going to be consistent to the percentage of the production which the Mongolian state is going to sell. So we're going to, right now we have 2/3 of the shares. So the Orano has 2/3 of the shares. So the Orano will sell 2/3 of the production. So for sure, if the Mongolian state wants that we take care of the sale of their production, well, we can do it, of course. Regarding to who we are going to sell, so in fact, again, there is 30 countries which are using the nuclear power. So we have potentially 30 customers. Regarding let's say the benefit point of view, the interest is to sell to the closest customer. So because in fact the transportation cost is going to be supported by the company. So if we want to sell to, for instance, to France, it means that we will have to support. We are going to sell at the market cost, market price, and then we will have to support the cost for the transportation. Regarding the benefit and the point of view, the highest benefits you have to sell when you have the smallest transportation cost.
Last but not least, we would like to talk about your leadership at our chamber, the American Chamber of Commerce. You were elected as a board member last year during the annual general meeting. and we're very proud to have such a leader among our senior leadership. What do you hope to achieve with your tenure at AmCham Mongolia?
So first, I was also very proud to be because I was also proposed to attend to the board, and I was really proud to be elected because I think it's probably the first time that a CEO from my company is elected at the AmCham. Mm-hmm. The AmCham is the most powerful chamber in Mongolia, and which is which has a very good network, especially with all the business stakeholders, and able to knock off the door of any ministers. So that's very important, and especially for my company to have such support. And I hope, regarding what I could bring to the chamber, is going to be for sure the experience of the next investment agreement negotiated with the new regulation, and I will share my experience and with the board of the chamber. I think it's going to be probably what I could bring to the improvement of the chamber.
To close out today's program, we usually ask what are some of your personal experiences have been in Mongolia so far. What would you like to say to our viewers who are watching the program? I believe policymakers, the general public, our member companies, and everybody watches Insight to get an idea of what and how are things progressing in Mongolia. What is your personal opinion on where's Mongolia heading?
I feel that there is the government wants to change, and I think that there was a kind of statement, and that a lot of foreign companies are left Mongolia, and I think all the works which is made right now to attract again foreign companies is really good, but for sure any change in any field takes time, and it's not because some laws are going to be updated, and for sure the enforcement of the law needs to be really improved. Regarding Mongolia, I really enjoyed this country. First, Mongolians are really welcoming foreigners. I had a very warm welcome, and in any place I went in Mongolia. And one of my favorite hobbies is wildlife photography, and I met a lot of very good photographers in Mongolia. And as I'm enjoying to go in the countryside, so Mongolia is really the place to be. And you have beautiful wildlife and really beautiful open space also. And my only problems right now is that I'm working quite a lot, and I haven't a lot of time to go to countryside, but I guess when we will have our process and different process validated, and I will have maybe some time to go back to the countryside and to take beautiful pictures also.
Well, Mr. Meleard, thank you for coming on the show. I've had a very good time here. I hope you will get back to your photos as well, and I wish you the very best. Thank you for being on this.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for the AmCham also.
Thank you for watching today's Insight. We had Mr. Marc Meleard, Executive Director of Badrakh Energy LLC. You can watch our program on our official YouTube channel, and we'll be broadcasting a repeat of the program on Parliament TV Mongolia.